Hello, my YouTube family. How are you? Welcome back if you're back, and hello if you're new. I hope you find something here that makes you want to join our little family. I am just sitting at my desk getting ready to do a whip on this little girl that I haven't had out since maybe 2 weeks ago. And it's Haunted by Diamond Art Club. I just got done with my second episode of What's in the Cup. I have an espresso machine now in the middle of the living room. But that's okay. I have an espresso machine in my bedroom. That's how much I love coffee. Anyway, excuse me, I just got done eating a maple cookie. If you watch What's in the Cup, you know. You know if you know. And I'm just looking at my tools, and I actually have an espresso spoon that I use in my diamond painting. You want to know what it's about? Stick around. Here we go. Let me get this all set up here for you guys. Here she is. Where is she? Oh, I got a bunch of stuff on her face. I pulled out all the drills that I need for today. There's our girl. Can you see her? There's her pretty little cat. I have a cat. And he thinks he's a dog. He was running through the house this morning like nobody's business. It sounded like I had a room full of children in here. And I love having YouTube on. I have it on all the time. And right now I have a beautiful autumn scene. That's how I opened up the my little whip and chat here. But this channel here, it seems to be that they're just having like one commercial after another, and it's kind of freaking me out because it gets really loud. Anyway, I am going to start here. I was watching something this morning. I was like, oh, I gotta tell my little YouTube family about this, and I forgot what it was already. So I can't have too many things in my head. I just can't. I can't have too many things. I lose some stuff along the way. What could I tell you? So my little spoon, my husband kept saying to me, you're getting drills all over the place. You can't judge. Get an espresso spoon and gently take your little beads out. Your little beads. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I said that. Take your little drills out and measure them out with the spoon. I've measured out my life in coffee spoons. T.S. Eliot. Now I'm measuring out my diamond paintings in coffee spoons. How is everyone? What are you doing? What are you working on? Get your whip out. Could be anything. It could be some crochet, which I have not done. Usually the winners are reserved for my crochet. I have so much crochet. Oh, I just kind of picked this up after I took my other one out. You know why? I bought this through Amazon. They're skinny placers for, you know, picking up multiple diamonds. And I just put them on here because then I started to venture into other diamond painting pens. Oh, I have one on here. But they're really nice until my metal ones come from Diamond Art Club. I ordered, I believe, a 12 and a 10, or maybe a 12 and an 8. I can't remember. I ordered it yesterday because they were having a sale. Of course, they're always having a sale over there. They're always dropping something. They were dropping things like crazy last week. So much so that Katie and Lindsay, who are hosting Drills and Chills, were like, yeah, we're not having a video this week. We need to rest. We did an unboxing with all the new diamond paintings that dropped for Halloween. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. And I will tell you that, you know, Diamond Art Club manufactures their drills in-house, and these are so dimensional and they're so super shiny that, you know, I sometimes have a hard time. You know, sometimes I'm picking them up backwards and I don't even realize it because they're that shiny. I don't realize it until I go to put them down. I'm like, what's the matter with that row? Oh, what did I want to tell you guys? I'm gonna start writing things down. I always tell myself, no, you'll remember it because I want to remember it. I'm like, no, you'll remember it. You used to remember a bunch of phone numbers when you were a kid, and now you can't even remember your own. So just remember. All right, it'll come to me. So I did my second episode of What's in the Cup, and it was about espresso. And it was about, my own experience with espresso and where espresso was created, invented. Now, I really, they say espresso was invented in Milan in the early 1900s, but I think they were drinking espresso during the Renaissance. So you take it for what it is. I don't remember my family making espresso. I don't even remember them having like a little pot. And my family immigrated here from Sicily. My great-grandfather, who I knew, and my great-grandmother my great-grandfather came here. He couldn't afford to take my great-grandmother and their 4 children with them. He had to prove that he could provide first before they would be allowed to travel, which they did by themselves into the country. And it was hard. My great-grandfather had to leave his family behind, and they were poverty-stricken. It was very difficult. But I knew both my great-grandparents, and I don't remember them having an espresso machine. What the hell were they doing? Well, I just said they were living in poverty, so I guess espresso was the last thing on their mind. But even my grandmother, I don't remember them making espresso either. My grandmother made perked coffee, and that was it. My Aunt Mary was the progressive one. She was the baby out of the 4. And she was the one that was like, oh, my Aunt Mary. She's still alive. She's going on 100. And let me tell you something. She'll whip by you. You won't even see her. She's like, I call her Flying July. She's small, but she's mighty. She's fast. And yeah, she's still going. I went to her house one day because they were digging up her street, and she'd like to go out for her walks. And I said, well, let me go see my aunt. We have an Acme right near us. I'm like, I know that my aunt has to have potato chips every single day. You hear these stories, people live to 100, and they're like, yeah, I smoked cigars and I had a scotch every night. My aunt had potato chips every single night. She can't rest unless she has her potato chips every night. I said, oh, I'm going to go get her potato chips. I know she wants her chicken wings. And I come up the street. It's all dug up. I'm afraid I'm going to break an ankle getting to her house. She's outside with the broom cleaning with a biscotti in her mouth. Oh, I'm sorry, a pizza. I got pictures. Maybe I'll put them up. I'll show you. It's a true story. And she used to say to me, Lisa, I walk everywhere. And she did. My aunt walked everywhere. She never stopped. And now she's living in Virginia with her son. And she is walking up and down a mountain. God bless her. What do we got here? Yeah, so I ordered my skinny placers yesterday because I wasn't going to order just the placer. I paid $10 shipping. I was like, I'll wait until I go to get one of my things on my wish list. I should do that. What's on my wish list? I should do that. I would be so interested to see what you all have on your wish list. What you want to create next. And that was the other thing that really interested me. Like I knew espresso was going to be my second What's in the Cup. But the story of espresso interests me, the way that Luigi created something so that he can make coffee quicker. But he didn't have the foresight to get this patent, or he created a new way of doing something. And it made me think of our diamond painting creators that have their work copied. How important it is to have your work copyrighted and trademarked and watermarked, and so he was just proud that he created this way of making, because that's all espresso is. Espresso is coffee that's made under extreme pressure. But when he met Pavoni, who saw what he had created, Pavoni had the foresight, and so he bought some of the rights to the espresso machine and he had it patented. So there you have it, kids. And they remained partners. They went to the fair in Milan in, I think it was the 30s. And because, I mean, when Luigi created this method of making coffee, and he named the machine Fast Coffee Machine. And fast in Italian translates to espresso, and that is what espresso is. Espresso means just to drink, just to be made quickly and just to drink quickly. It does not make you speed. It has less caffeine than regular drip coffee. And you know, coffee has less caffeine than tea. So if you want to get your morning jump, have your coffee and have your tea in the morning, then switch to your coffee and coffee drinks. Anyway, they went to the fair, and it was Achille Gaggia, Gaggia, who took it one step further, and he developed a machine that had extreme steam, and that's what we have today. That's what we have today. That's what we know to be the espresso machine. And espresso drinks, and I was thinking about all the drinks that we make from espresso, which I will cover on What's in the Cup. Let's see, this one's upside down. Didn't even notice it till I saw it sticking up. They're so shiny that you can't even tell. I've been looking for Halloween shows to watch. I really don't know. I mean, I really have never been a Halloween person. This is the first time, believe it or not. And I lived in New York, where the big Halloween parade came right past my store off of 6th Avenue. And that's an event. I mean, oh my God, you can't believe the costumes in New York. I mean, everybody is a dress designer when it comes to that day, and creating their costume. They're so impressive. I mean, there was no reason for me to even be open, because everyone is at the parade, and everybody wants to be at the parade. If you're not participating in the parade, you want to see the parade. And I have gone out to Brooklyn, which is also very impressive during Halloween, the way that everyone decorates the front of their house. Oh my God, it's like a set design. Really impressive. I don't know that we have, I think here in Philly it's more about the holidays with like Christmas, and Christmas is the big one that everyone down here decorates for. It's interesting how you go to different cities and different states, and you kind of see the differences. I was doing a whole thing on street food. And, you know, with New York and Philly being so close, when I had opened up my restaurant, I wanted to bring some New York favorites to Philly, and people didn't even know what the hell I was talking about. You know, how could you not know what a knish is? But they don't. And it's I wouldn't say it's a street food in New York. Bagels are more of a street food. Here in Philly, pretzels are a street food. In New York, it's bagels. I don't like soft pretzels in New York. They make them, you would think that I would, because I love a barbecue and they use charcoal. But I don't like them. I don't like the way my pretzel comes out. I'm so used to the way that we do it here in Philly, the Philly soft pretzel. And talking about Philly, shout out to my Phillies. Oh my God, what a game. And I don't live far from the stadium. And so it was like my whole house was rocking when that grand slam was made. I mean, we just kind of swept. You know, we didn't even go into game 3. They're already off. They're in the Nationals. They're going to Atlanta. The Eagles are doing great. I'm not even a sports fan. I'm not even into sports. My son drags me in. He drags me in. My Phillies were the rough and tumble guys. Darren Dalton, Lenny Dykstra. Oh, God. Those guys were something else. They were the embodiment of Philadelphia. They're not kidding. We throw snowballs at Santa. We actually did. They had Santa come out into the field and he got hit with snowballs. We have rough fans. I will admit to that. We have rough fans. But we're very passionate people. Just like us Sicilians, we're very passionate people. I think I put too many on here, did I? They're so shiny, they're blinding me. So that's going on. What am I watching? I think I said this in my last video. I haven't gotten far because I've been suffering with a migraine all the earlier part of this week. And I was really making myself upset. And my husband's really good at giving me some perspective. And he's like, I know you would tell anybody else to rest and not worry about anything. It'll all be there when they get up in the morning. And yet you can't do this for yourself. And it really is an area of exploration for me where I got this from. That, you know, from when I was a kid, I would get up like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about being like 5 years old. And I would stare out the window. And I would just wonder what was going on. I knew everybody was sleeping, but I didn't believe that everybody was sleeping. I believed that there was stuff going on that we couldn't see. I would look up at the stars and the moon and wonder what was going on up there. And I'm still that way. I'm a night owl. I love being up when everybody else is sleeping and just having that quiet time. You know, when I worked and you know, my son was a little boy, that was impossible. But anytime I knew I didn't have to get up and go to work the next day, I was up all night long. And I can't nap during the day either. So, you know, but to me, there was always some kind of magic happening at that hour. Always something going on. And when I was 5, I really thought Peter Pan was coming to my window. Not that I wanted to be Wendy. I never wanted to be anybody other than myself. But I just thought, you know, if I was the type of kid that was up, he'd come knocking, fly around the world. It was always set for adventure. Always. I always had a bag packed too. I don't know what that was about. I told my mother once I was running away from home. I don't know what they told me that I wasn't agreeing with. My father was like, "Go, just don't leave the street." And I would go, and if you know anything about Philly, we're home of the cheesesteak. And right on my very corner, growing up, there was a little cheesesteak restaurant, and they had French fries, and they had Cokes, and they had cheesesteaks and cheeseburgers. And I wasn't a cheesesteak person either. I had my first cheesesteak when I was like in my early 20s, which my friends couldn't believe. I just was never into cheesesteaks. And I would go to the corner with my money, my little money that I earned from my chores, and I would sit, and the little chef there, he was also the owner, he knew. Here she comes. I'd had roller skates on. I never wore shoes, ever. My shoes were everywhere. They were at my girlfriend's house. They were at my grandmother's house. I roller skated everywhere. And he used to let me come in, and I would take up a booth. And I had this bag that my father gave me. It was patent leather blue, and it had a little decal of ballet shoes on it. There were ballet shoes in it, but they got ditched for my roller skates. And my notebook, my Reese cups, my skate key, and a pen. That's all I needed in the world. A can of Coke in there, Reese cups, like my aunt, sometimes potato chips. And I went to the corner, but they weren't going to find me. I didn't leave the street. I went to the corner. I ordered French fries and a Coke. And I sat there with my notebook writing. Now, I really thought that they would have found me. Well, they didn't. I was down the corner with my Coke and my French fries. And I was writing all about it. Sitting there. I was the only kid that never put her books away when school was out. I always had books out. Always writing. I always wanted to create something. And my father came in and he was like, "Where have you been?" And I just looked at him like, "Here." And, you know, the chef, I can't remember his name. I was young. He's like, "Yeah, he said I should have called you. Give me your number." He said, "She comes in here a lot. She eats French fries. She has a Coke. She's always writing stories." And so from there on, my father called me Hemingway. Oh my God. I was a loner though as a kid. I really would look at other kids and just feel like I really didn't, not that I didn't fit in. I just always wondered what the hell they were doing. You know? That's bizarre. But I did. I just wondered, what are they doing? Like, I was never into Barbie. I haven't seen the movie. I was never into Barbie. I just didn't get it. And it wasn't even maybe on an unconscious level it was that she didn't look like me. Nobody looked like me. Models didn't look like me. Everybody was blonde. And Cheryl Tiegs and Christy Brinkley. And I can't remember the other one's name was. And she was the Charlie girl. Nobody looked like me. I was dark and dark hair and dark eyes. And everybody was blonde and blue-eyed. My father, well, I was telling you that I always wanted to create something, and that's why I was, you know, always carrying around a book. And, you know, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew that I wanted to do something. And there wasn't a lot available to us kids. Not like today. The kids are out all over the time. They're out all the time. These parents are running all over the place. I had to wait for camp in the summer. And I was like, let me tell you, packed. I told you I always had a bag. I was packed and ready to go. I couldn't wait for that bus to pull out of that street and take me somewhere. And do something, you know? And my father once said to me, "Do you want to make a dime?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "All right, go to the corner and go get me the newspaper." Oh, I ran. I was going to learn in the newspaper how to make a dime. Not make a dime for going, make a dime in the newspaper. And I went back home and I gave him the newspaper. I was like, "Okay." And he handed me a dime. I said, "No, I want to learn how to make a dime." He said, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "You told me. You asked me if I wanted to make a dime. I want to make a dime. Is it in the paper? How do you make a dime?" He was like, "Oh, Lisa." "Please, honey. I gave you a dime for going to the store. You made a dime." I was like, "Oh, man, that seemed like such a cruel trick to me." Want to make a dime. But I was always anxious to make something. And I don't know why I didn't get into Barbie dolls and stuff like that, you know. I just didn't. I loved my baby party. She was a lot of fun. She blew up balloons. She blew bubbles. You know, she blew a horn. She was the party. That was me. I was a party. In some way, you know, it's really interesting because for as introverted as I was, I really was always looking for excitement. I was just looking for something else all the time. And I think that that's why, like, even when I graduated high school, and all my girlfriends, everybody was talking about what they were going to do after high school, and most of them were getting married. You know, this is 1980. You're getting married. Even I know I didn't want to get married. And, you know, like, not because of the boy, or not because I didn't think that they were in love. I just thought, well, what do you know about being married? I want to get away from my parents. And not because I didn't love my parents, but because I had plans. I didn't even know it at the time when I would dream about what I wanted to do, that I was actually writing a business plan. I was always had like an entrepreneur mind. to create things. And, you know, getting married wasn't one of the things that I wanted to create. You know, I didn't want to go from one house to another. It's great if you know that that's what you want to do. Go for it. I have friends that are still married from high school, and they're adorable. They're adorable. But I also have friends that are not, you know. Even though it seems like most of my friends that did get divorced came back around to the same person again. So, who knows? I don't know. It wasn't for me, so I don't know. So my mother wanted me to go to college, and for as much as I walked around with a book, which made no sense, I just had this hankering I had to break out. I really did. I couldn't wait to get to Center City, to ride the bus, to you know, have a briefcase. I don't know where I got this idea at. You know, I thought I was going into a job and I was going to run the company. Because what my knack was, that I found out very quickly, was I would go into an environment, into a company, and I would watch how things were done, and then I would write a plan out about how they could be done faster and quicker. And that was my claim to fame. Like, I was, what are they called, these people that do these things? I can't think. I'm diamond painting. I can't think. You know, I just had that knack of going in and saying, like, you know, I think this would be an easier way of doing this, and changing it up. And then I move on to something else. I really didn't stay places long either. I really did, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, I knew that I didn't want to be anywhere too long, because I knew, maybe in a way, that I had a lot to learn. And if I wasn't in college, I couldn't get stagnant being in one place. So I had a lot of good jobs. I met a lot of good people. And my one job that I had was teaching at Barbizon. And from what I had read of Barbizon was a hotel in New York where young women went to who weren't getting married and wanted to be career girls, and they would live at the Barbizon. And I worked there. I worked there mentoring young girls. And my mentor had said, what do you want to do? You know, how are you going to make your mark in the world? And I said, I really don't know. I still don't know. And it's causing me some anxiety. And she was like, oh no, don't let it do that. Don't let it cause you any anxiety. You just go out there and you do everything that interests you. Because one day it's all going to come full circle. That's how I've had quite a few careers in my life. And I wouldn't trade any of them at all. Any of them. I've learned so much from every job I was at, and I had all different bosses that I adored. I don't think I ever had a job where I walked out and was like, oh, I can't stand this place, or I hate these people, or, you know, oh, I don't know what I want to do, but I don't want to be here. I never, ever had that. And I always had people that wanted me to come back and, you know, not leave, but I'm a rolling stone. I'm a rolling stone. And then eventually I learned enough that I felt confident enough to start my own business, which at that time was a makeup company. I had a great business plan. I just didn't have the funds to do what I wanted to do. And I had to do it, you know, legwork, taking jobs to do wedding makeup. And then I was working in a department store in John Wanamaker, and I was representative for different makeup companies. And then I got into photography, and I was doing that for a while. What else did I do? But I wanted, long before there was a Victoria's Secret, I wanted a company that just catered to women. A place where you could go and you could do all that intimate apparel, but also have your hair and makeup done, get your nails done. I had big ideas and no money. No money. But I, got into all different things. I did, I never really worked for a chain or a specific company. But I did do it for a little while. I did work for a makeup store that had all different brands. And like, I knew everything. Like, you can't even imagine how many brands of mascara are out there. And let me tell you, people are like, why do we need all this mascara? I mean, it's mascara. I'm like, yeah. Some girls have very flat lashes. Some girls have thick lashes where they have rows and rows and rows of lashes. Some girls have, sparse lashes. And like, what works for one really does not work for the other. And that's why we have all these different brands of mascara. But the thing is like, by the time you find out which one is yours, you've gone through 20 tubes of it and you don't know, and you're kind of like frustrated. But I knew. I tested everything that came in, tested it on my girlfriends, and I was the person to come to when you had a question about what was out there at the time. It was a lot. I mean, there's a lot now with our Sephoras and Ultas, and but there was a lot back in the 80s too. The 80s were fun. Oh, everybody had their Madonna on. It was so much fun. We had great bands. We really did. We had great music. We're still celebrating the 80s. We had great fashion. I mean, I wasn't committed to one fashion look. I mean, if you looked in my closet, yeah, I had the Madonna stuff going on. But I also had leather. And then I had lace. You could have been whatever you wanted to be. And I would, every Friday, go to the newsstand. I would buy every fashion magazine that was on the newsstand. And I would rip one picture out. And then I would go out on a hunt to duplicate that look. Because that look was a Versace. And Mommy didn't have any money for Versace. But I had a wild imagination. And I was able to thrift really hard. And it was fun growing up. It really was. We had a good time. There was nothing like a guy asking you for your number. And saying, no, give me yours. I'll call you. Not waiting around for any guy to call me. Oh, out of here. Yeah, we had fun. We were sassy. I couldn't imagine like doing this. Is it dating? I don't know. I'm afraid to ask if it's dating. What's going on today? These cell phones. I don't know. I have a 37-year-old son. I'm waiting for grandchildren. He don't want to hear it. And he loves kids. He's got a car seat in his car. Okay? He came to pick me up and I'm like, whose car seat is this? He's like, it's Anthony's. I'm like, and what are you doing with it? He's like, oh, I take Frankie to school in the morning. I'm like, oh, how's it feel? Is it feeling like something you might want to do? They're goofy today. They're goofy. He's like, oh, she's a good kid. She's so funny. I'm like, yeah, you can have one. Of your own. I'll help you. I'll help you take care of it. Well, hopefully you'll have a mommy that wants to take care of it too. Hopefully. I've seen a lot of things in my days. I'm not even going to go there, but I don't know. He said it's pretty hard dating. Pretty hard, And my son likes to cook. He was my chef for a long time. And judging by the women that he's met, and I love them all. He had some really nice girls, very nice. None of them cook. He's like, Mom, these girls can't make ice. So, he's just not looking. He's not looking. He works in a casino. He can meet somebody. He can meet somebody. Oh my God, thank God he doesn't watch my YouTube. He'd kill me. He'd be like, why are you talking to me on your... And he's so gorgeous. He's so... Not because he's mine. He's so good. He's such a good guy. He's a good guy. And he's gorgeous. My son was born with like 3 layers of eyelashes. I'm not kidding you. He was a preemie. He was 1 pound and 11 ounces when he was born. He was 16 weeks early. He is a miracle. But he grew these eyelashes probably from all the oxygen that he was on. And his eyelashes, I am not kidding you. I'm going to put a picture of this kid up. His eyelashes touch his nose when he shuts his... I'm like, really? I look at him, I'm like, really? You got these eyelashes? Still? I thought, like, you know, after he came off oxygen, that was going to stop. But no, he was blessed. He's got big brown eyes. He's really cute, and he's funny. He's so funny. He's got a very dry sense of humor, which I love. I watch this comedian that I love. His name is Nate Bargatze, and he reminds me of my son. My son is funny like him. Nate Bargatze. Is this K? Oh no, I missed one. Nate Bargatze. And he's a clean comedian, you know? There's no cursing. His wife and kid are in the audience. And he's just like one of those everyday life kind of comedians. You know, he talks a lot about his wife. I think they met in Applebee's. I think she was the manager. And he was, you know, I don't know what he said he was doing. And now they have a kid, and so his comedy is based around his kid. And he's like, oh, my kid just signed up for YouTube. And she makes all these videos. And like everyone is like, hi, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe. You know, thanks for visiting my channel. He's like, she's making like 8,000 videos, and it's only me and her mother. We're her only subscribers. He's like, my phone is clogged up with her videos. How cute. Reminds me of me when I was out, you know, eating my French fries and writing stories. And I was writing stories. I really was. Because I wanted something exciting to happen. And, you know, it just wasn't. We lived on an average street. And I went to an average school, Catholic school. Nothing was ever happening there. We didn't even have an arts program. Forget about, you know, drama or anything like that. Oh. That didn't come until much later when we got a teacher who came from a public school who was a drama teacher, and then we had drama. Oh, we didn't even know what that was. Today it's something else altogether when you have drama. But she was the best. She was everybody's favorite. If you asked any kid that went to St. Nicholas who was your favorite teacher, everyone said Miss Loretta. And she used to come into my restaurant. She wrote a book. She was on a macro diet, so she wrote all about that diet. And then she passed away shortly after. She was young. I think Miss Loretta was in her 60s when she passed away. Maybe not. What am I thinking? 70s? I mean, she just looks so young. So, I mean, how could she be in her 60s if I graduated in 1980? That don't make no sense. I graduated grade school in 76 and high school in 80. So, oh my gosh, guys, I'm on my last color. And then we're going to have to say goodbye. I'm so glad we had this time together. I love Carol Burnett. If you want to read something, I know we talk about books and movies and music. You have to read the book that she wrote. Every chapter is someone that she's either worked with or encountered. And I actually got it on Audible also. And she read it. And let me tell you, I did it in one night. And I just had pains in my sides from laughing. It was one of the best books that I ever had the pleasure of reading and listening to. Carol Burnett, and she just turned 90. She is, those comedy sketches are still so hysterical. So let's cut this off. We don't need it. I know what I had to tell you guys. I actually looked up these crystals that I picked up and found the meaning of them. Okay, next one. Next one. We ain't going nowhere. Here we are, guys. Let's take all this stuff away. Week 5 of drills and chills. My little espresso spoon. My little crystal. Let's take a big look at her. I still don't know what I'm going to do about this wart on her nose. I don't like it. I'm moving it. I'm making a beauty mark. I don't like that wart. So here she is. Let me get a better idea of her. I just love this little cat. And I love this little ghost. Where is he? He's over here. He's so cute. Look at him peeping out behind the tree. So this has been so fun. All I can say, you guys, I have never like been diamond painting and not aware of like, oh my God, I'm almost done. See what espresso can do for you? Go get yours. Are these somebody? Do I have one more upside down? Maybe. I think so. I keep looking. Go get your espresso on. Go create something today. Doesn't matter what it is. But create the world that you want to live in. Get those little things around you that make you happy and turn up the corners of your mouth. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for stopping in. Bye.